out. So like many of you, I'm of course at home, and lots of things going on in the house. But I'm so happy to be here with you all this afternoon to share one of the things that I'm really just, really passionate about. I've always, in my whole life, just always wanted to have a strategy for anything that I did. And of course, now it's so important. It's important to my own business and to all of your businesses. And it's just a crazy, crazy time right now. So I'm happy to be here today to speak about strategy to all of you. So just a little introduction on myself, like who am I? So I'm a CPA. I'm a certified public accountant by training. I worked in public accounting for 12 years. I worked with a lot of financial institutions. And then after I worked at PricewaterhouseCoopers, I went and worked on Wall Street for Deutsche Asset Management for 13 years. My area of expertise is operations and process and strategy. So at Deutsche, I was working as the global head of business strategy for the institutional asset management business. That's a mouthful, but it basically means I was figuring out on a global basis what products we were going to sell to whom and how and where, and make sure that we could deliver on that strategy. And so it's that love of operations and process and strategy work that when I left Wall Street, I moved it into higher education. So I worked here at Columbia University here in the city of New York as the CFO and chief of staff for all of the student and administrative services, both for the university and within the law school. So a couple years ago, I left that world and started my own business. It's FocalPoint Coaching and Training. I'm the owner, the president. And what I do now is I work with business owners, business leaders, people such as yourself that are on the call today, to chart a course for your business and to help you develop strategy and implement it successfully. So this is when Elizabeth said, hey, can you come and talk, and what topic would you like to cover? Of course, it was natural for me to say I want to talk about strategy. So let's see there we go. Okay. So as Elizabeth mentioned, we're doing this daily, we're doing this on a weekly basis. And so at this point, like strategy is such a big topic. And so I wanted to break it down into sort of bite-sized pieces. And so I have laid out a series of topics that I'm going to cover over the next 4 weeks. And you can see them on your screen. Today, I'm going to be talking about how to think strategically. If the series continues after the 4 weeks, I can cover further topics about goal setting and other business planning topics. But thinking strategically is the subject of today. And clearly articulating the vision of your business is not an end in itself. It's just really the beginning. And you really have to as we all know right now in these difficult times, you really have to muster the resources of your business to direct them to achieve your vision. So I think, let me just sort of start by saying that in this time, a very natural response as business owners and just as people with families and loved ones, it's very natural, I think, to retreat and take a pause and think about what's important, to you, and take care of the people that are close to you and take care of your own needs. That's, of course, paramount. The next response, of course, is to just respond. Okay, so you're all business owners, you're business leaders. How do you respond to the people that you work with in your business, your suppliers, your customers, your stakeholders, your shareholders? How do you respond? And that's just, figuring out like what end is up kind of response. And I think many people at this juncture have initiated their response tactics. I know I'm getting emails all the time whether it be from airlines or restaurants in my community, telling us how they're responding to the situation.
Sharon, sorry to interrupt you. Somebody's just said that they can just see the logo on the screen, and there's no bullet points. I just want to check in that everybody can see the screen properly.
I am going to screen share it again.
Okay, so we're just going to start again, so just bear with us. Okay, great.
See it now?
Yep, everyone says yes, they can see it. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very
welcome.
much for being my eyes and ears.
You're welcome.
Okay, so my goal for today is to, so as I was saying, natural response, retreat, respond, and then initiate. And I'm going to assume for these purposes that people have already completed their retreating and they're dealing with the situation. You may have already started to respond in whatever ways you can. And we're moving now to initiating. And my goal and my wish for all of you is to move you from response mode to chart a new course for your business. Okay, so the key points for today are to distinguish between tactics and strategies. Okay, I'm going to talk about that. I want to walk through and help you assess your current position in the marketplace, and then walk you through what's needed to design a sound strategy based on your self-assessment. Okay, so I'm going to just assume that everybody is with me, and let's get started. Okay, so when people think about planning and executing, the biggest mistake people can make, business owners can make, is diving into tactics, objectives. And the thing I want to make sure that people take away, of course, there are, tactical things that you need to do, but swatting down the daily issues and the smaller issues isn't going to help you develop a strategy. Those are operational issues, and from a strategic perspective, you need to focus on, stay out of the trap of dealing with tactics and think big picture. And even those that have the most thought out business plan, it could be completely obsolete at this point. Okay, so first you develop strategy, and then you develop tactics. Think of strategies as the way to provide a framework and guidance for conducting your business going forward. Okay, so that's really the purpose of a strategy. Strategic thinking is sitting, and why it's time to sit back and think a little bit and reflect, is an opportunity to think about trends. What's happening in your local city, state, country, what's happening with the government, and how those things might interact with your future. And then of course thinking about drawing logical conclusions as to what strategies might be the most effective for your business. The reason to have a strategy is to deploy your limited resources to their best use. Okay, exploiting situations and identifying situations where you can exploit your competitive advantage to reach your vision in the marketplace. Okay, so I mean, I think it's fair to say that we all know we're in a new world here. We're in a place of really rapid change, and the next series of slides is aimed to walk you through how to develop a sound strategic plan that is the first step, not just to surviving, but thriving. Okay, so we talked about retreat, respond, and so my wish now is to propel you forward to initiate and thrive in your business. Okay, so what is this process? This process is really about going through a series of assessments, looking at intermediate goals, long-term goals based on these assessments, and then putting in strategies to achieve those goals. And it's built on, there are a series of building blocks. So the key thing is, and I hope you all can see this, is that you really need to know your starting point. And I'm going to pause there because it's a really important point. It's essential that you know where you're starting. Do you really know? And I'm going to walk through each of the things that you see on your screen. Okay, what is your starting point? Because you can't chart a course from where you want to go if you don't know where you are today. And it's really important to know along all these different dimensions what your starting point is. And during this difficult time, I think it's difficult to think about all the different angles, and that's why we're going through this today. So I'm going to help you to think about all the different angles. Okay, so we're now, I'm going to go through each of these parts of your business and what all you can be doing while we're, while I'm going through this is make notes. Okay, take notes of the areas where maybe you're not clear, or you may have some ideas, or you have things that you need to look into. Okay, because my goal for this is, as I said, I'm a business coach, and I help business leaders move things forward to take their businesses from, from where they are today to where they want to be in the future. And the only way that gets done is by doing this assessment and by taking note of what items you need to research and making commitments to investigate and resolve and then move forward. Okay, so at the end of this session, I'm going to be asking everyone to think about and commit to action steps that you're going to take towards developing your own strategic plan. Okay, so as I go through these, think about your own business and what you know and what you don't know, and make notes, put big stars about the things that you're going to need to do to be able to know where you are in your business today. Okay, so the first step really to getting a clear picture of your starting point is revisiting your purpose. Why is your business, why are you in business? Why do you exist? Why are you engaged in this business? And this is like, think big picture, like, why do you do this? What is the dream that inspires you? And make sure that you still connect with that dream. Because to go through a big fight, if you're not connected with the dream, is really going to be a struggle. Okay, the dream might have changed, and this is a perfect opportunity then to shift and retool. So I want to start by saying, what is your dream? What is your mission? What is your vision? What is your purpose? What do you value in life? And what are the things, why are you in business? And what is the purpose of your business? Okay, that's number one. Number two is what is your core competency? What is the thing that you do in your business, or that your business, whether it's a product or a service that your business provides, what's the one thing that you do that's better than anyone else? What is your advantage? What is your core competency? What is the thing that you're really good at? Okay, number three, business. What is your business? What business are you in? What business could you be in? What business should you be in? And what business should you not be in? Okay, so it's pretty clear. Even I can just look outside my window and I can see businesses here in Manhattan that are already thinking about the way that they do business and what their business has been, what it can be right now, what they can offer right now may also be very different than what they might want it to be in the future. I'm thinking about the restaurants in my area. I'm thinking about bars. I'm thinking about how they amazingly can deliver mixed drinks and cocktails and bring them to their customers now, which is just amazing. But think about what you want to be, what businesses that you're in, what you could be in, what you should be in, what you want to be in, what you should not be in. And those are all important questions to help you focus on your strategy so that you're not spending time and resources on the things that aren't, that don't connect with your vision or the needs of your customers at this time. Okay, next is markets. What is your principal market? What is it today? What has it been? What is it today? What could it be? And what should it be? So these are all different points of time, but it, again, can help you focus on focusing your energies and focusing your resources on where you can make a difference and taking you away from where it won't work, at least not today. Okay, next is product and services. What are your principal products and services? What could be your principal products and services? What should be your principal products and services? And this is a space, again, to say, maybe your product has been one thing, but here's an opportunity to shift towards another thing. Or maybe you've had a number of different products and services, and some you can deliver on right now and some you can't. And in the long term, perhaps perhaps we're moving into a whole new world and that your service will be delivered differently in the future. So consider what you are, what you can be, what you should be, what you don't want to be from a products and service perspective. Okay, distribution channels. Where do you distribute your product or service? Where could you distribute your product or service? Where should you distribute your product and service? Again, I keep on thinking about the restaurants and how they're reaching people, now. They're reaching them just so differently than they have, takeout and delivery. And I read about a restaurant here in my neighborhood that has transformed themselves into a gourmet grocery store. And it's just amazing that they're thinking about things really differently, but still meeting their market and meeting their needs and doing something completely different. So what is your distribution channel? What is it? What is it now? What could it be? And what should it be? And who is your competition? Who have you seen as your competition in the past? Who could be your competitors in the next 6 to 12 months? Who could be your competitors in the long term? And if you think about things in terms of your competition and what others are offering, there's an opportunity to identify your unique position and take advantage of that and focus your efforts to where you are uniquely different and qualified to beat your competition. Okay, number 9, your unique competitive advantage. What is your unique competitive advantage over other competitors? Is it sustainable? And if not, why not? If yes, what do you have to do to be able to sustain it? So if you have a unique competitive advantage, and all of us do, you just need to think about it and bring it out. Can you sustain it? Do you need on your own? Do you need help sustaining it? Do you need to shift it in some way? And then lastly, who are your stakeholders? What special considerations do you have in terms of either investors or stakeholders in your business, your board of directors, legislators or government bodies, employees. I mean, what do your employees expect, and what do you want to be able to do for them? Any strategic alliance partners that you're working with? What about your suppliers or the general public? And so this is the place where you think about what other people need and want, and what special considerations there are to your stakeholders. Okay, that's a lot. And so I know for myself, even just going through these in my own business, there are there's at least 3 or 4 of these that I need to think some more about, and think about how I position my business so that I can distinguish it from others and set my course for my strategy going forward. Okay, so just going through these questions, my hope, and we're going to open up the line in just a little bit, but my hope is that you have some new insights or ideas for the direction of your business. So when I work with business owners as a coach, I'm always asking them what the action is that they're going to take, and by when and how, and that sort of thing. So before, we're going to open up the line in just a few minutes here, and ask for feedback, some thoughts, and some new ideas and questions and answers and things like that. Elizabeth will help me with that. But I guess I just wanted to say and offer to all of you here that are on the line today that that first of all, I am open to having a conversation with anyone on this call that would like to have a further conversation about assessing your starting point. All you need to do is send me an email or connect with me on LinkedIn. Send a message through LinkedIn. On the next page, which I'll go to, I'll show you the link to my my calendar. You can feel free also to connect with me through my calendar link to just schedule a time for us to talk about your particular situation. And so email me, message me, send me a link. But even more so than that, I said at the top of this call that it was important that everyone take some sort of action and think about what things do you need to commit to doing to knowing your starting point, on which then you will then continue to develop your strategy. Okay. So if there's anyone on this call today, or I offer for anyone that is on this call today, to feel free to email me with your action step. And my email is down at the bottom of the screen. Email me your action step and your timetable that you commit to taking that action step. And I will, in return, follow up with you on that day to make sure that you've done what you said you were going to do. Because part of this is, again, as I said at the beginning of the call, we're so overwhelmed with tactics and all sorts of other things that it's hard to think about strategy. And as a business coach, I want to help everyone on this call make sure that you're focusing on the things that are going to help you move your strategy forward. And so my commitment then is to the extent that you make a commitment and you have a due date for those things, I will follow up and be your accountability partner to help you deliver on executing your strategy. Okay, so I'm going to move to the next. So here we go. Here's my slide about that. I would like to ask for Elizabeth, maybe you can open the line now, and we're going to ask people for their insights and strategic decisions that you've uncovered just in thinking about these 10 points, and do a little bit of sharing among the group.